Hey, what's going on, y'all? Are y'all ready? Welcome to the Say Michael podcast. Oh, welcome. Welcome back. Welcome to the Say Michael podcast, one man's attempt at business, family, and comedy. I am your humble and gracious host, Michael Agbajan, and welcome to episode 12. This is such a special episode because if you don't already know, we are currently going through a worldwide pandemic. And if coronavirus and if COVID-19 got you down, I'm here to pick you up. If it got you down, I'm here to pick you up because this is going to be a really good one. And the reason why is that, there's while all this chaos is happening, which I'll explain, there's silver linings and blessings in disguises with this whole thing, and I want you all to see that while it is bad, it's still all good, because there's a lot of discoveries that are happening through this. Because right now I'm broadcasting this podcast out of Dallas, Texas. And if you don't already know, Dallas, Texas is on lockdown. When I say lockdown, pure lockdown. Barbershops are closed. You got men and women out there looking scruffy. You know what I'm saying? But lucky for you, if you're looking scruffy, you ain't going nowhere. You know what I mean? You're not going anywhere anyways because you're on lockdown. Salons, they're closed down too. Women walking around, nails all chipped. Wigs from 2012. Come on. It's all good. We're in it together. My wife's job, they closed down last Tuesday on the 17th, March 17th. They closed down the mall right after that. And the reason they closed those places down is, we got to do this whole social distancing, and the social distancing, where you have to stay at least 6 feet away from each other. Yeah. If you're not familiar with 6 feet, that's 2 yards, 2 yards away from each other. And, it's a very humbling process to do this, to stay away from people. Because, if you weren't used to shaking hands before, you're not going to be used to it now because it's completely different. Now I see people bowing, it's kind of crazy. Our boys' school, they closed last week, Wednesday, on March 18th. And we saw that coming. But they tried. They really tried. They tried to keep it open and trying to keep things business as usual. But they had to succumb to, what they called their, I think they said their morals, not moral, ethical. They thought it was, it's an ethical choice they had to make to close the school. And this is before they actually had a lockdown, like a mandate for Dallas County, So, this was last week. So the mandate happened like literally, I think this week, But, so right now, we're like the clubs are closed, restaurants are delivery only. No, actually delivery and curbside, So, I hope that people are with somebody who really knows how to cook. Because during this whole pandemic, we're trying to keep our health, our health strong. And if you're eating pizza and takeout all day and, just sit in the house, you're going to get fat, if you're not already. And if you're turning fat and you weren't fat before, get up and take a walk, take as many laps as you can around the kitchen. Take so many laps around as you can in the bathroom. Go around the house, go in the neighborhood, stay away from people though, because we're in very trying times. And no matter how trying these times are, guess what? Your boy's still flossing. I'm still flossing these teeth day and night. I have not stopped the flossing because I'm trying to keep these cavities out. And that's what daily life is. It's funny because they try to keep our boys' school open, for the longest, like they were doing certain things like, okay, they closed it down on Wednesday, but that previous week and that Monday and Tuesday, they said that, parents aren't allowed to go into the schools and that you have to drop your child off at the front door and that they'll take the child's temperature. And if the child doesn't have a temperature, that they'll let the child in. And, you pick up the child from the outside, basically that's kind of how they were doing it, and they did that for as long as possible before they said, okay, now we got to shut down. And now we have the boys at home and we're literally teaching them the same things they were teaching in school every morning. And I want to give a special shout out to my beautiful wife, sweet wife. She's actually the glue that keeps this whole thing together because, now that she's home and the boys are home and I'm home, it's given us an opportunity to like have family time that we didn't even really know that we're missing, like us being so close and together and knowing that this is like all we got and that we're protecting each other. It's a different type of like love and appreciation, because our boys are so young, 4 and 3, that they don't even know really what's going on right now. So really, honestly, they're in heaven. They love it. They love the fact that they don't have to wake up and go to school and get ready for that, but when they wake up, we get breakfast ready. We all have breakfast. And then that's when they start class. And by class, I mean, they're learning everything they need to or what they did. So they don't take any steps behind, and that's my wife's idea. She put that together. So therefore we could keep the boys sharp and keep their brains from turning into mush. But, in other news, the good news is that the Water Boys is still booming. I told y'all that, the Water Boys, it reminds me of like a roach. You just cannot kill it. You can't get rid of it. I thought this pandemic, when I'm seeing things shut down, people calling us up like, hey, can you come and clean? Sure. Because now it's a beautiful week. Spring just hit and everyone's trying to get their spring cleaning done. I ran an email blast today as far as giving people a sugarcane sweet deal on an interior special, to get their interior deep cleaned and sanitized. And then we did the same thing, basic interior detail so that people could just kind of get everything sanitized on the inside because, you want to have a clean environment, especially at a time like this because we're in very trying times, and the fact that, our wonderful customers are keeping my employees busy is just great, I can't say that I'm fully prepared for this because honestly, I was a little bit like worried. I'm like, man, what if we can't provide service? Like, what do I do about my employees? Do I pay them out of my pocket? Do I furlough them or tell them to, file for unemployment or something like that? These are things I was worried about because I'm like, what do I do? I've never been in a position where, I have, full-time employees that don't have anything to do, basically, the first week that, when the spread started to happen in Dallas and people started getting nervous, our business did slow down because people were so, I would say, what am I trying to people were very cautious about where they want to spend their money and what they want to do with their money. And we start to see the economy kind of take a slow crawl, and the Dow Jones and the stock market start to, go down and down and down. And, that's the silver lining too, right there. Like the stocks right now are so discounted. Like if you didn't get a chance to get into Nike, if you didn't get a chance to get into Exxon and ConocoPhillips and, Merrill Lynch, there's a lot of companies that if you didn't get a chance to get into it before, now's your opportunity to, because, everything's discounted. And if you felt that everything was just, all the stocks were skyrocketing, I'm talking about all of them. And if you didn't get into it before, I feel like now's the time. But see, this is not all about money, Also, since the world is taking pretty much a pause on this entire system, which I said this is a different type of recession, is that, like right now there's only essential services available, and that's like hospital, police, sanitation services, grocery stores. And it's crazy that, they're looking at the fact that grocery store workers are now like seen as essential, like employees during a time like this. But then it's crazy that they put themselves at risk every day, because right now what they're saying is the way, like a lot of people are confused on how does this COVID-19 virus spread so quickly? Why is it spread so quickly? And let me break down the math to you on how fast it spreads. Okay, now if you have the flu, so if you pass over the flu is not as contagious as this. So the flu, you give it to 1.3, 1.4 people, right? So that means that if you walk around and you give the flu to 1.4, if you could really divide people into it, that's what it is. And those people give it to 1.4 people, and those people give it to 1.4 people. You are responsible for at least 14 cases of flu. You yourself meeting and spreading it to one person or 1.4 people. Eventually those people got other people sick, and you're responsible for 14 cases of flu, right? Now, COVID-19, coronavirus, let me break this one down. For every person who has it, and now this is extremely contagious, for every person who has it, you give it to 3 people. Okay, you want to hear the difference? You might not see it as a big number, but if I get 3 people sick, and those 3 people get 3 people sick, and those 3 people get 3 people sick, you're responsible for 59,000 cases. That's why, in Italy, it took 14 days for them to get to 100,000 cases. It took, then after that, it took like 4 days for them to get another 100,000 cases. And after that, 24 hours for another 100,000 cases, and that's literally how fast this is spreading. But there's ways that, you could protect yourself, don't cough on anybody. Don't sneeze on anybody. Keep yourself away from people. Wash your hands, all the time. And also, China has done these autopsies on a lot of the people who died from the virus. And they found out that, if, let's say you potentially may have the virus. So this is something you should practice every day, which I do it right now. I'm actually have it right here in front of me, right? It said that the virus, it's very difficult for it to be in high temperatures. So they say that, the virus lives in your throat for, I think, like 4 days before it gets down to your lungs. And that is when it starts to cause respiratory issues. So they tell you to either gargle every day, water, and, like vinegar and water and lemon, or, anything like that's acidic like that. Right. And then if you don't do that, you could drink, hot, anything that's hot liquid, like hot water, hot tea, which, this one is right here. It's weird because it's sleepy time tea, but I don't feel sleepy, and tea, and the reason why is that, if you're drinking these hot liquids, whatever virus is in your throat, before it can get down to your lungs, the hot liquid drop it down to your stomach, and your stomach acids will neutralize, the virus, So this is something I'm practicing, just to make sure, because, when I hear that people, it's just crazy when I hear that people I know, are getting infected, Well, I don't know Slim Thug personally, but Slim Thug out of Houston, he said he took a lot of precautions and then he got sick. It's almost like you want to, like, so Sylvester Turner in Houston, has not called a lockdown yet, but Sylvester, we're going to do this the easy way, or we're going to do this the hard way. It's your choice. You better lock that city down. Houston need to lock it down because my brother's over there. His family's over there. Cousins over there. A lot of people who listen to this podcast over there. Friends, family, they're all over there. So I don't want it to get worse, So Sylvester, you could take this the easy way or the hard way. The choice is yours. But I really do. I really hope that you are staying safe and you're staying strong, you're staying healthy, right? You want to make sure that you eat vegetables and you eat your fruits and you boost up your zinc, because you don't just want to boost up your vitamin C. You want to boost up your zinc. So you want to have your immune system strong, because that's what's going to break down any potential contraction of this virus, that's highly contagious, but, also, onto other news, the barber school is is actually going online, for right now. We had to close it today, and it was hard because we were trying to keep it open, but you got to understand that you have to balance between, like, not being inconsiderate to people's health, but then also trying to keep business as usual, because that's what I think that created, a lot of this mess in America to begin with. Is the fact that, we tried to stave off the inevitable truth, right? Is that you're going to have to shut it down so things stop spreading. But we wanted to keep reassuring people that things are going to be okay, and that, this thing will die down before we actually have to close. So we actually kept doing all these little measures to try to in essence we try to, do all these measures, so therefore we could, kind of postpone any potential close, so we don't have to lose business or lose money or lose opportunities for, whoever it is that's in our organization. And it was inevitable that this is going to happen. I think they're calling right now for a federal nationwide shutdown right now, and I told you these are uncertain times because no one knows what's really going on. Like, you think about it, how do you put a barber school online? You can't cut hair, but you can learn. So you can learn all the curriculum that you need, but these are emergency times, but I'm not sure. I feel like a federal shutdown should happen, because this upcoming Sunday, we were supposed to be going to Mexico, and we actually had to just cancel that trip, and that's a little unfortunate, but it's for good reason. This is something that is serious. But there's things that you can do in the meantime, because I know that you see a lot of people talking about, hey, this is a perfect time for you to create, like, be creative, collaborate, do all these different type of things that you always wanted to do that you never had a chance to do before. And that's true. You do get a chance to do that. But I want to kind of give you things if you don't really have the creative bone in your body, or the or the creative juices flowing right now because of any type of unnecessary stress or anything that you're going through. I want to provide you with just a few things that I know would really help you in your business. You start a business, what businesses to go into, what books to read, things like that. But this is all top of it, top of the head. So this is definitely something that has helped me. Right. The books that I think that if you do get a chance to read, which I think is mandatory reading, is the E-Myth. The E-Myth is one of the best books that I've ever read that has helped me tremendously in my business, that helped me create a system for my business, So, that will give you a blueprint on how to create a system around not only your life, but your business, and how to create that consistency that's needed for you to take whatever you have to the next level. Also, a book by I think it's Don Ruiz, but the Four Agreements. And that's a wisdom book. It gives you a lot of wisdom of how not to take things personally, and I know how to prosper through life and how to think better. And it just changes your thinking. It's a really simple book. It's like 70 pages. I think that is definitely a must read. Another thing that you could do outside of investing in the stock market is investing in yourself, because you yourself are more valuable than any stock on any stock exchange, because you have no control over those stocks, right? So at the end of the day, you could put your money in those, but you don't know what's going to happen with those. And it's really just as much as gambling. But when you put the money into yourself, you have control over what you do and your actions. So therefore you can succeed, right? So if there are things that you would like to, let's say, upgrade in your career, this will be a perfect time to, maybe download Duolingo and, learn another language, learn a little Espanol, learn a little Espanol, Also, this is an opportunity where you could really, get your processes down, in your business, so therefore you don't have to be doing so much of the work, and processes are really those things and those systems or, that you put in your business that help you, that almost in essence delegate, like things that you do all the time, a good company for that is like Keep, KAEP. That will help you fix processes in your business and, like customer retention, all that, Also, cooking, I hope that, if you're stuck in the house, that you're with somebody who knows how to cook, because that right there is going to be a crucial part of staying healthy, because, if you get fat and you eat all the bad things, your immune's going to go down and you're not going to be able to be at your strongest and be at your most healthy. So, like if you're able to eat better and work out, that's something that, like you should apply today, figure out how to, like try those new recipes, even though there's no food that you could really get very easily right now, because people are acting crazy and wild and fighting over water, which makes no sense, but there's a person, one of my good friends, he's a comic, his name's Dolo, and, he's a trainer, and, he was talking about how he's not going to be able to go back to work, for, really like the next, like almost like 2 months. So I was like, I'm not sure if this is going to work, but, why don't you like do like live workout classes and just pin and put, pin your Cash App, for donations. A few DJs did it, just pin their Cash App for donations, and they just kept the party going. And I must tell you, DJ Mr. Rogers out of Houston, he had this late night set. This was 2 days ago, it was live on Instagram, and I really felt like I was in a party. It felt so, I don't know what was that. It was just like a crazy experience because, like he's you're listening through your phone, but you have like in that Instagram feed, you have everybody that that you follow, and that maybe that you might not follow, whatever, but they pop up and they get in the room, and they add them, like you see them like almost like they're walking in. So as the music is playing, like it puts you in a mood where you really like envision yourself like in the club, and you see your people walking in, and you got your group, and then you start inviting other people to come through, and then the group gets larger, and then at one point you have like 3,000-4,000 people on a live, all partying together to the same music, and we're all showing love or exchanging emoji drinks, you know what I mean? We're dancing with each other, air quotes on that. It was just like, it was a wonderful time. I actually stayed up almost till like 2 a.m. That's what I think when he ended it, partying. I was like, whoa, it was weird because, the next day I woke up like I really did go to a party. I was like, wow, like, I'm tired from last night's party, and I was on my phone. So I really didn't understand that you could have that, genuine of a connection, just from something online, because online socializing is a lot to me like real life socializing, and you have there is a game, and there is a language to it, and that was something different, but I do think that if you do provide some type of service, whether it be music, whether you're in music or whether you're in training or whatever it is, you could provide an online version of that and connect with people online. I think that is probably one of the biggest opportunities right now, is just that, everything is just multiplying because so many people are online. YouTube views skyrocketing just because so many people are watching YouTube, learning new things, entertaining themselves, and now they got time. If you didn't have time before, now you got time, and I must break and say this, that while it's hard, to do the work that's necessary for you to take yourself to the next level, you have to find that discipline within you, and to try to create that routine for yourself, so you could like make it easier for you to, like, if you wake up late because right now you're busy resting, take that time out to get out that comfortable bed of yours, because it's comfortable and your body's telling you stay here. Get out the comfortable bed of yours and start doing something a little bit earlier, because it's so easy right now to basically do nothing. I found I had to check myself one day because, like, social media was going crazy. Everyone's on social media, and I'm going from app to app. I'm going from, Twitter to Instagram to Facebook to Snapchat, to Mashable. I'm going to all these different type of apps over and over and over, just trying to like wait for updates. And I found that, man, I didn't really do nothing, other than watch TV, take naps. And I was just like, something got to change, So that's when I woke up early, started doing the work, put an email blast together, and tell me why, the email blast that I put together, which is basically me telling customers that we could come to their home and sanitize their interior vehicle. So it took me about 2-3 hours to put it together because, I'm trying to get the design correct and the language correct, trying to make it simple, do all these different type of things. And my email, right now we have 3,600 people. So it's not a gigantic amount, but it's a good amount of, customers that we have on there. And, when I finished the e-blast or the email the email ad, when I sent it out, I had the most opens I've ever seen before. Usually I get like I usually get like 10 to 15%, but right now I'm at like 25% open. Like people are opening and reading and clicking, the ad. And literally like an hour of me releasing that ad, $500 was made, and that was from barely lifting a finger, but that's really all I did was lift a finger. If you really break that down, and that was made in an hour. And, I could have chose to, with that time, I could have chose to just lay down and, just rest, go to sleep, do nothing, watch TV, watch something else, you know what I mean? But I actually didn't, and I actually attributed that time to, working on something that's going to help my business. And now I'm actually setting up, this is, I'm talking about for the Water Boys, I'm setting up all the things that we need to do. I'm literally going to be like, close to, 4 months ahead, 4 to 6 months ahead, based on this break that we're giving us, because this is such a special time, because everything's on pause. Ain't nobody spending money like that. Ain't nobody flexing on each other like that. Everyone's just really trying to get through, this little, this just kind of, I would say lockdown, but this pandemic. So therefore we could go back to our normal lives. But, this is going to put you leaps and bounds ahead of anybody else. If you do this work now, it's going to put you leaps and bounds ahead. I'm not sure if you ever heard, but they say that the time that if you ever want to get rich is during a recession, because most people don't prepare for a recession where things go down, because they're running. But then that's when you should go in and buy up or put time towards places that people aren't, because right now everyone's trying to entertain themselves versus like do the work, so whether it be getting your email ads together, or putting together business cards or flyers, because right now everybody's at home, and you don't have to knock on doors and get whatever service or product that is that you're selling. You don't have to talk to people about it. You could just put a flyer on their car, hidden neighborhoods, like we're doing that. Like that's how I'm keeping my guys busy through this time, is that we're gonna actually go out and post our flyers at all these homes, because 40% of our business was in corporate high rises, and now that they're dropped in vacancy based on this kind of lockdown or the stay at home order, us going to home to put out these flyers, knowing that people are home and knowing that their cars are dirty, is going to put us leaps and bounds ahead. Because when not only are these people potentially going to sign up for a membership to do something on a regular basis, they're also going to stay with us, or they're also going to use us because we made an impression on them, because we're top of mind for them. So if they ever want to, like figure out, like, okay, who could come over and clean my vehicle based on them not trying to go out anywhere, they're going to holler at your boy, because right now, all these people are trying to, figure out how to survive and do all that. That's when you got to do the extra work. Same thing goes out for the barber school. We're putting out the flyers, in all the apartments, all the cars, in those areas, because we know they're home. They have nothing else to do. Maybe they could figure out what they want to do with their education and what they want to do with their future, and ponder on that when they're at home. I just feel like this is just such a special time to not only like worry about your health, because that's what everyone's doing now. Everyone's kind of worrying about, their health, washing their hands, eating better. Well, I'm not saying everyone's eating better, but, we're trying to. But, these are the things that are going to put you leaps and bounds ahead. And that's why I say this is the silver lining, and the blessing in disguise, because, everything is just much needed. For the first time since college, I'm talking about, how many years is that? Like it's what, 2007? I took my first guilt-free nap. I'm talking about, this is on Saturday. I'm just on my laptop while, Bly's in a bathroom, braiding her hair, and the boys were, I think they were taking a nap, and I'm like typing on my laptop, on the bed, and then I just fall asleep. Usually I would wake up and be like, oh man, I can't believe I took a nap midday. I beat myself up for it because I could have did so many other things with that time, even though, don't fight the body. If you got to take a nap, take a nap. But see, this last week, because everyone else is taking an L and everyone else is chilling at home, ain't doing nothing, when I fell asleep, I woke up like 2 hours later and I was it, I felt good. I didn't feel like, oh man, I could have did this, I could have did that with that time, because guess what? I have a lot of time left, and I don't want to take any of it for granted, but understand that this is your time to rest. This is your time to reset. This is your time to look deep within and see how creative you really are, because we all consider ourselves, whether technical people or creative people. And this is really our time to work those muscles and to show, because think about it, everything's going to change after this lockdown, this pandemic, by the time it's finished, because it will get worse, but by the time it's done, a lot of things are going to change as far as how we operate our hospital systems. Even right now, they passed the largest stimulus package, in U.S. history. $2 trillion. And that's the largest that Congress has ever passed to spend, and it's not that great. Like what they're saying right now is that they want to give any individual who makes less than $75,000, $1,200, I think a month, and any married couple that makes less than $150,000 gets $2,400, which is the same thing as the $75,000 times 2. So I'm like, okay. And then for each child, you get $500. And I'm thinking, okay, that's all good and dandy, but like that's all going to go towards bills. So if you have debt, or if you have mortgages, or you have rent, or you have insurances, car notes, things like that, that money, $1,000, is not enough, And I mean, if you're living, very low income, but the thing that I think that would definitely help in this situation is that you have to pause the bills, put the bills on hiatus. If no one had to worry about bills, like let's say you didn't have to worry about the student loan debt, or you didn't have to worry about your insurance coming through, or your rent, or your mortgage, or any of those, any type of any bill, water bill, anything like that. I mean, no one will be panicking like that right now, because they're not really making money, but no one's really taking their money, So at the end of the day, that $1,000 would be very helpful, because you're like, okay, now I can get essential items. I could get food, I could get toiletries and things like that for whatever household they're in, So, the stimulus package, I think they're setting aside $350 billion for small businesses. So, if you're a small business and you want to pay your employees, or continue, going, there's it's called the SBA Form 5. The SBA Form 5 is what you could do, and you could apply, and they give emergency loans for you to at low percentages, like at 2.5%, which any loan that you're usually going to get, whether it be in real estate or whatever, hard money loan or anything like that, you're looking at 10% or higher. So, apply for the SBA Form 5 if you're a small business trying to, figure out how you're going to not only pay your employees, but then, keep yourself in business for the next few months. There's just a lot going on right now. And I just want it to be where you understand how important it is for you to stay safe, and then, drink a lot of fluids, hot fluids, like I mentioned earlier, and just stay strong. And, in this case, if you're worried about anything that's changing, just know that you always got me. I won't change on you. I'll always be here. I'll be here every week, rain, sleet, or snow, to broadcast what's going on, not only with me, but the things that happen to me in business, the things that happen to me in comedy. Oh yeah, I was supposed to even mention about the comedy, but the comedy stopped. The last time I went up was the 12th. That's the last time I went up on stage, and that was at Backdoor Comedy. But after that, everything was shutting down. Even that day, that room was almost completely empty because, honestly, like everyone, the virus is spreading. It was spreading everywhere. So, everything's kind of been taking an L. But I have this beautiful podcast, and I have the wonderful listeners, and I just want to appreciate you, for coming in and staying with your boy, and just know that, we got each other, and that we'll help each other out of this, and if worst case scenario, and you might not be able to, to pay your bills or anything like that, hit me up, and I will come out, and me and you might be able to put together an acapella, and sing for people in a park or something, So, because I'm not going to just give you money, but I will help you figure out something that, will sustain yourself, So if you have a talent, whether it be photography, there's other things that you could take pictures of, that doesn't require you to interact with anybody. If you ever thought about getting any type of service, the cleaning, anything that's cleaning right now, that's a really great business to go into, if you are looking to do something online, right now there are essential products that are being distributed out. So if you're into distribution, as far as like, what do you call that? Courier services and things like that. Those are great business to go into. But man, there's just so much opportunity, in this time that, the world has taken a pause, for you again to take leaps and bounds ahead of like your competition, because man, I don't remember the last time that, I prepared for something without thinking like everyone else is getting ahead further than me, or every time I make a mistake, I'm like, oh man, that's going to set me back. But this time, everyone, we're all taking an L together, and because everything is coming to a slow crawl, now we're all just, focused on the time that we have and the people that we have around us and the people that love us, cherish those moments, be gracious that you have them, show gratitude. This is a wonderful time to be in, because even though it's, bad, it's still all good, even when it is bad, it's still all good, because there's always opportunity that's going to help us, go to the next level and whatever it is that we choose to do. But, one thing I would like to request for anybody is that if you have any questions for me that you would like me to answer on this podcast, I have some big surprises that are happening for the next episode that I'm excited about. And I think and know that you'll like it. I'd love to hear your opinions and your thoughts and everything that you go through. Right now it is very early in the morning, and it's going to be another beautiful day. We have no plans yet, but I am going to set up a lot of my emails and, email marketing, get the flyers ready so we could go ahead and put those out, make the orders of the supplies that we need, getting our app created for our, for the Water Boys. Also, getting a product line, together and getting all those labels designed. There's so much stuff that's going to put me so far ahead that I never had time to do before. And I finally got the time to do it. It's just the fact that I got to get down and doing it. You got to do the work, and the work isn't fun. So I hope that you don't think that it's supposed to be something you just purely enjoy like that. But, it's bunker down and, let's do the work, and, be kind to your neighbors, and if, again, you have any questions for me or things that you would like me to discuss or talk about so I could maybe help you in something, let me know. You could contact me on any social media at Say Michael. And just understand that I love you. See you later. Bye. Remember to wash your hands, stay at home, be kind, and love thy neighbor.